We was trying to impress our family members by spending $10,000 on some beds and pillows and mattress covers and cases and sweat-proof sheets and stuff like that. But nobody didn't even notice what we had done. What they did notice was the kitchen accessories like the little bowls and little mixer things that we had that came from down at the dollar store. All of that interest that we had to pay. Now we done got ourselves into debt. We didn't have to have no Bluetooth, massage your legs, massage your back up and down, raise your legs up and down, zero gravity. Good evening, and welcome to another episode of the Mindset Master Podcast. I'm your host, Tony Reed, and I'm also the proprietor of the podcast. Now, in today's episode, we're going to be talking about stop trying to impress other people. A lot of us are guilty of that. Even me, trying to buy stuff or trying to do stuff to look cute or look cool for somebody else that never even notices you. And that's the reason why I wanted to talk about that in this episode today, to kind of help you and help guide you out of the mistakes that I've made in my life. Because if I can take the mistakes that I've made and actually help you succeed in your life, I would have done my job. And if you want to learn more about this topic, stay tuned to the end of this episode. The reason why I say that you should not try to impress other people is because typically when you try to impress somebody else, you normally go into debt. I have not yet in my lifetime to see somebody else who was trying to impress somebody else and look cute and cool, but they didn't either use their rent money, they didn't get a credit card, they didn't go down and do a title loan. See, that's why it's very imperative to not do things to impress other people. And again, like I mentioned in the intro, I'm guilty of that also. About 10 years ago, me and my wife had purchased a home way out in the country, and we had wanted to impress our family members. Now, let me give you some back context. Before we bought the house, we didn't have zero debt. When we bought the house, we paid cash for the house. And we was like, man, you know what? Let's go out and let's get this elegant and this real expensive furniture and stuff like that. So we wound up doing was, we wound up going to one of those big box mattress stores, and then we got to land on some of the mattresses that like lets up and down, and they got the massager and all of that stuff on it. Now, realistically, me and my wife really didn't want those $8,000 mattresses. I'm going to be honest with you. We was used to sleeping on a $2,000 mattress. But we was like, ooh, if we get this $8,000 mattress, people are going to want to come over to our house. They're going to want to stay in our room. They're going to want to just live over here with us. So we opened up a credit card at one of these big box mattress stores. And then what we wound up doing was, instead of just spending the $8,000 for the mattress and the bed, we had to get these special sheets that stop you from sweating. We had to get these pillows that was body pillows. So that was another $1,000 right there. So now we done spent almost $10,000 on just bedding stuff. That's not even including buying anything else, the kitchen stuff. That's none of that. That's just strictly bedding. So about a week after we bought this mattress ensemble, we had a get together at our house, and our family members had not yet seen our new home. And don't you know, didn't one person brag on our bed? Didn't one person out of our family, we had maybe about 20 to about 25 of our family members inside of our house at one time, and everybody was just going out, throughout the house and kind of, going around. Nobody said, Tony, Yesenia, man, woo-wee, these mattresses sure look good. And after the party was over, I asked my wife, I'm like, hey babe, did you hear anybody ask about those mattresses? She was like, nah babe, nobody asked about the mattresses. I was like, we was trying to impress our family members by spending $10,000 on some beds and pillows and mattress covers and cases and sweat-proof sheets and stuff like that. But nobody didn't even notice what we had done. What they did notice was the kitchen accessories like the little bowls and little mixer things that we had to serve the food out from that came from down at the dollar store. We had all of that interest that we had to pay. Now we done got ourselves into debt. If we would have just done our normal thing, just got the $2,000 mattress, maybe a $2,000 sleigh bed, we didn't have to have no Bluetooth, massage your legs, massage your back up and down, raise your legs up and down, zero gravity. We didn't have to have all of that stuff in our mattress, in our bed. but we just did that trying to impress somebody else that didn't even really give a crap about what we had spent all that money on. Now just imagine if me and my wife would have gotten sick or something like that and we wasn't able to pay that off like we was able to pay it off, because that monthly note was like $285 a month for 3 years. And so within 3 years, we was trying to be real cautious and careful of what we done to make sure we didn't get hurt or anything like that would knock us off of knocking this debt out. Most people in life, they buy stuff for other people to look cool and cute. If you like this episode today thus far, please press that like and subscribe button for me. So let me give you another example of what I'm talking about by trying to impress other people. A buddy of mine, he went out and he put himself in debt for a brand new car. He already had a car that was working perfectly fine. Nothing was wrong with his car. Nothing was wrong with his Subaru. He seen some girls and heard some girls talking about they like men who drive Tahoes and stuff like that. So he went on head down to the dealership and got him a Tahoe, put himself in like $90,000 worth of debt for no reason. Now he winds up losing his job. He winds up losing his apartment. Now he had to go back home and live with his mother because he tried to impress some girls that didn't realistically care about him. Since he lost his job, guess who's stuck paying his car note? His mother. That's the problem with that equation right there. And nothing wrong with living at home with mom, but if you got mom paying your $800 per month car note and mom is on a fixed income, that ain't cool right there. That's the reason why I made this episode today. Please stop trying to impress other people. You have nothing to prove to anybody. Most people get into debt trying to impress other people for silly things. I've never seen anybody trying to impress somebody getting into debt for something realistic. Most people get into debt for video games, cars, TVs, electronics. I even seen a dude going into debt for a roast beef sandwich at a restaurant. Why would you pay interest on a roast beef sandwich that's going to be out of your digestion system within 3 hours? Get in debt with a business. Get in debt for something meaningful. Don't even get in debt to buy a car. If you are trying to get a car, let's just say if your car engine blows up, pile. Sometimes you might got to kind of sacrifice things in life to have bigger and better things in life. If you would have been saving your money up, let's just say $100 a week, then you could have went on like Craigslist or like Marketplace or something like that. Find you like a little knockaround car, paid cash for it versus going down to the dealership and paying $36,000 for it, and then you don't know your financial situation in 2 months. See, if you work on a job, that job isn't guaranteed. Even with your business, that's not guaranteed because a fire can happen, a wide array of things can happen, but nothing is realistically guaranteed. So I recommend to never try to live above your means. Never try to impress somebody at a red light who you never gonna ever see again. Please do not go into debt during Christmas time. Try to make your kids or your spouse or somebody happy in your family who's probably not even going to realistically use the gift that you paying 1,000% interest on APR, and then it's chunked in a corner over here with clothes all on top of it. That would hurt your heart. You seen that right there. Please stop getting into debt for other people, and definitely stop getting into debt for silly trivial things. Get into debt if you want to have like a food truck. Go down and then put your car title up for quick cash for something like that. Don't go down here and do one of those quick title loans just to go up here and go buy a TV from out of one of these big box stores. Don't go put your car up for collateral to go down here and buy some drugs or something like that. Don't do nothing like that. You have nothing to prove to anybody but yourself. If you cannot afford to buy a car, please do not go out and get into debt. Go buy a used car. You don't have to have a brand new car with 0 miles on it. You don't have to go to the dealership to get a car. You can go and buy a car for somebody. No, it may not be the optimal car that you want, but at least you can sell that car the next day and make a profit. You can flip that car. If you go down to the car dealership trying to impress somebody, trying to be cute and cool for these people over here, you finna go spend $35,000 for this car. By the time the 6 years come, you finna go and get you another car because that car, you done ran that car into the mud. Now, that car isn't going to be paid off. You're going to go take that car note and you're going to tack it on to your new car note. Now, you spending almost $1,000 a month just on car notes. That's not even including insurance for the car. That's not even including gas for the car. That's not even including none of that. And I bet you more than likely, you probably didn't even get the warranty. So you're going to have to pay for all your oil changes and all of this and all of that. So what's the difference in you going to buy a car from Craigslist Craigslist or Marketplace versus you going down to the dealership to buy one. Do not go into debt to make other people happy. Do not go into debt to try to be cute or cool, to try to fit into the clique, to try to fit into the committee, because I guarantee you most of the people who are in the committee, in the clique, or in the club are in debt up to their eyeballs. And that about wraps it up for today's episode. Until next time, I'll catch you later.